Hello lovely people, my name's Andy Woolley, and in this video I'm going to share some of the questions that have been asked of you on my YouTube channel and social media. But before I do that, a big thank you for letting me get to the milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Happened a lot faster than I thought it would, but that's down to genuinely you appreciating the content and reaching out and asking for this and asking for that, and I do thoroughly appreciate that. I do try and come back to every single comment as quick as I can. Likewise, if you've got any comments of things you'd like to see in the future, please do, and hopefully the questions I'm going to go through that you've sent to me will give you some sort of insight as to who I am, what makes me tick, and realistically what value I can give to you. Okay, so let's kick this off. Question 1, why did I start YouTube? Okay, good question. Yes, to earn some money potentially, but that wasn't the main focus, because I'm not naive to believe it's going to be an income, a sole source of income that I can depend on. It's just another income that I'm trying to build up. Two reasons, I guess. The first one, yes, to produce another source of income, because I've got to the age where I've realised that more than one source of income is vital in order to have a comfortable lifestyle. Okay, I think that most of you can concur with this by looking at your parentage. Both your mum and dad probably going out there to work in order to provide for a family environment and provide a comfortable lifestyle. That's kind of a given these days. Life is never going to get cheaper, it's only going to get harder. So you've got to up your game in order to make sure that the value you've got transposes to the work you're doing, and therefore getting paid for it admirably. So that's first and foremost. And I kind of realised that, having read like the Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, a great book, heartily recommend it, is that you come to realise that one source of income is not enough to sustain a comfortable lifestyle. You need as many as possible, and therefore it comes down to what you do with your time, and that's what sort of breaks the constraints, as it were, of 9 to 5. So that's probably the realisation of why I started YouTube, is I wanted to look at it from a money. And then the second part to answer that is, having worked for over 30 years, I sort of wanted to give my idea of the knowledge that I've acquired and convey that to you, hopefully, through the series of videos that I'm doing. I'm reasonably trained across many disciplines, have qualifications of them. I've been teaching for a good number of years as well as a part-time, never sacrificing full-time to do it, because I want to keep at the coalface, as it were, with clients and my own agency, and keep doing the sort of work there that you keep learning, because I think that's important. So I wanted to sort of convey that and put it somewhere, and I think YouTube is probably the best place to put that. Convey it to video, get more proficient at speaking as well. Anyway, talking too long, my phone's gone off. Right, question 2. What do you intend to achieve? Okay, well, the first part, yes, is another source of income, but that's not really the driver. It will just be small at the end of the day. What's more enjoyable is seeing the engagement I have with you, the reader or the watcher, by all accounts, and seeing the feedback that I get, and knowing that the things I know resonate with you and give you value, and therefore that gives me a satisfaction of knowing I could do another video on this or add another little element to that. And that's kind of what I enjoy. Is I've got a long list. I use Notion.io, hardly recommend it, it's a great tool. I'll put a link in the description below. I use that to jot down my ideas, things that I'm going to do for short videos, and I have tons of them. The problem is, it's time. Time is never enough, which is what my first marketing manager used to say to me all the time. Everybody is time poor, so focus, be disciplined, and then you'll get where you need to be. So I am working methodically through the type of videos I'm doing, hence the reason saying thank you for 1,000 subscribers. But likewise, what I wish to achieve is recognition, I suppose, more so, and appreciation, because we all have egos that need to be stroked, and that's not a bad thing. At the end of the day, we all, it's kind of the psychology of who we are as humans, is that we need recognition to feel our value, and by doing so, it bolsters our self-beliefs. So any CEO who tells you any different is lying to you. They've got where they've got, not just by the success they've done, but the accolation that's come along with it as well. So it's nice to be rewarded like that and have a pat on the back. And I suppose just simply having likes, shares and comments are a keen reflection of that these days. So YouTube is a good choice for that. Question 3. Why do you teach and what do you teach? Okay, good question. I had my teaching qualification about 25 years ago. Never really did anything with it. I had it at the tail end of doing a course and I had the time, so I thought I might as well do it. But what I came to realise when I started teaching part-time 5 years ago is that I'd always been teaching in all the roles that I've been doing, conveying knowledge, working within teams, and then sharing information and nurturing people. It seems to be not just fundamental in me, I think it's fundamental in all human beings, is that we have a desire to pass on knowledge, to share information with other people and to nurture them. So I quite enjoy that. The approach I take is trying to be different to what most teaching is these days. I only do it part-time. I'll never do it full-time, even though I could quite easily do it full-time, because there's a massive skills gap in digital marketing at the moment, purely because I like being at the coalface. I like dealing with clients. I like the ability to learn something today, put it into practice, see the result, and then be able to go and teach it to other people so they can see the direct win. And I'm open and transparent with my learners. I show them all my analytics and my monies so they can see genuinely what is happening. Because I think that's the only way you get buy-in. I know from my own personal experience, and this is probably the one thing that really drives me as a teacher, I sat in enough lectures where I was going to sleep. I wanted some practical value. I could do something with it. So that's very much the approach I take. I'm very animated, I'm very much hands-on and practical exercises whilst learning the principles and methodologies that are essential for that deep learning without boring the learners, by all accounts, or at least I hope anyway. So yes, what do I teach? Digital marketing. Across several qualifications, 56 units in total. Everything, if you consider a pie chart, is marketing. Within there you have traditional digital SEO, search engine optimization, content marketing, email marketing, paid advertising, you name it. Everything pretty much comes under the guise of marketing, branding, you name it, it's there. So we touch on all those subjects because they are all interconnected, as is like building a YouTube channel. You find your way with all these skills as you kind of do it. Okay, so that's the reason I do it. Thoroughly enjoy it. Also, just on a side note there, one of the big things I do enjoy as well, I get to see behind the veil of other businesses. And because I'm in a privileged position, I get to ask probing questions of employers, line managers, as well as the learners. Because I do talk to a lot of business owners as well. And it's interesting to see the approach they take. And that's indispensable knowledge that you could never get any other way. So it's nice to be able to just, ask those sort of questions and gain more perspective. That's the key, is gaining more perspective in order to know what to do for your own particular brand. Question 4. Why am I still doing a 9 to 5? Okay, that's a good one. My partner asks that of me all the time as well, because she's happy if I was to go hard and heavy into what I do, which is my affiliate marketing and other activities. I've got to be honest, as I said, I've been working for 30 years, building up a career, transposing from one job to another, and then loving what I do. So I've kind of got to a point now where the roles that I'm doing, I thoroughly enjoy. The people I work alongside, I enjoy. The cultures I work in are great. There's no toxic cultures that I used to work in, and I enjoy the difference I make within those teams. So giving those up would be with a heavy heart, but like everything, I suppose it's like opportunity costs. You're doing something as opposed to something else, but you're giving something else up to do it. There might come a time. I keep an open mind. Life has a way of working out. I do thoroughly believe in karma, and it'll take me where it needs to take me. So for the moment, I'm happy doing the 9 to 5, and I do most of my extra curriculum activity outside of it, because I've never done a normal 35, 40 hour week. I've always done like 80, 90 hours. I watch TV, I'll put a laptop on and I'm writing a blog or something. That's always been me, but I think that's a sign of a busy mind. I can't settle. So yeah, there might come a time where I don't do a 9 to 5 any longer, but for the moment I kind of like the mix of what I'm doing. There's a lot of clients I'm dealing with, and there's a lot of challenges to be met, and I'm learning in every single one of those. If that wasn't the case, then I would probably change it at some point. Question 5. Why do you only work with a small budget? Okay, that's a good one. No, I have used VAs and content writers before now and spent some good money building up assets, either for what I've done for myself or for clients, because I've worked with agencies as their external marketing and SEO person. But I guess for the moment I wanted to, because I was starting small on YouTube, not known, you know, I'm pretty well, I'm comfortably known on LinkedIn, as I would say, but you know, to build your visibility that you and others find me and then hopefully get some value out of what I know, you've got to be more front and center. So I started small because I wanted to be as honest as possible and show you I am like you. Okay, so if I'm going from a 9 to 5 and I'm literally am going to jump at some point to these full-time incomes that I'm setting up, I need to do it on something that I can play. It's seed money. You know, it's no big jump, it's a small transition from A to B, and it will probably take a year, 2 years or 3 years, maybe even longer, who knows, right? But I'm recording it, unlike anyone that I've found so far on the internet, I'm recording it from a standing position of 0. I have no traffic, I have a brand new domain name, I have no money coming in, and I'm deciding £250 a month is what I'm going to spend on my hosting, my Dreams Time, Jarvis.com, Quillbot, and a few other bits and pieces, tools, Microsoft obviously for the Excel and PowerPoint, stuff like that, in order to build those assets out, that you can do it, knowing that you have to invest the time, a realistic budget that's outside of your salary at the moment, but creating the habit of doing something in the evenings of the weekend, that you do that over a length of time, small steps, you get a big win. And it might take a year, it might take 2 years, but there's a question. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? It's right now, so get on with it. And I started doing it at the beginning of 2020, and I'm starting to see the gains on one of my sites. Then I started 2 of them much more realistically and more consistently in February 2021, and now I'm seeing the results. So woe betide, I'm trying to tell you what you should do. I'm taking my own advice. Is I've seen the win from Google. Google is free, so putting the time and the effort in and getting rewarded for it makes complete sense. So it's how much time are you willing to invest will give you the return. Hence the reason I start with a small budget, but that might change in time. I might, once I flip one of these websites, and I might take the leap and knock all my 9 to 5 on the head and purely do these hard and heavy. And if that is the case, then I'll use one of the websites, flip that, take that seed money, and I will be commencing with VAs and content writers, because then it's about the time and scaling to get the return. But until then, I want to take a much more laid-back approach, because the money is not the goal. The social experiment is the goal as it stands at the moment. So I think it's important that I log this journey, so that when hopefully, I would say it's guaranteed. If you're smart enough and you know what you're doing, you'll get to a point where there's a decent income, or you can flip a site for a decent amount of money. That's a guarantee if you put the time and the effort in, and you're shrewd in what you do in your strategy. But it's that consistency over time is the hard part. Is keep pushing yourself to do it, and that's why I'm doing the 9 to 5, because I want that when people look back over this series of videos, month in, month out, they can see I started with nothing. Brand new domain name, no aged authority on it, no backlinks to it, nothing at all, no existing content, and I literally grafted and did all the work myself. Okay, and then if they can see that I can do it, you can do it, and that's probably one of my biggest goals that I'm trying to achieve through YouTube, and be honest and transparent with you, is show you that that's what can be achieved. Anyway, move on. A few more questions. Question 6. Who else do you follow? All right, I watch YouTube quite a bit through the day, to be honest. I have 3 monitors, 2 I work on, 1 above me, which allows me to watch a lot of series. I watch a lot of things. Okay, so let's take it from the top down. Affiliate marketing, I watch the likes of Alex Cooper, Sean Mars, Amelia Gardner, Carl Broadbent, Van Lady, I can't remember her name, Sabrina. There's quite a few out there, to be honest. I'm sorry if I don't remember all your names, but there are quite a few out there. Doug Cunningham, Passive Income Guy, Hasta La Vista Baby. There's loads of them, and it's great because they're doing what I'm doing now. They're sharing the journey, but inspiring you to do it as well. If they can do it, you can do it. That's the approach, which is where I jumped on the bandwagon, and I'm enjoying the process and the skills you learn alongside it. So that's the affiliate marketing. When it comes to SEO, I follow the likes of Craig Campbell, Chris Palmer, pretty much those two guys. I know those pretty well. I am also in an SEO masterclass, so there's a lot of guys in there that you can reach out to. Ryan Durrani, James Tooley, that really do appreciate. A lot of these guys are on LinkedIn as well. Go check them out as well. There's lots of knowledge they impart, but they answer questions directly. They're not like a lot of the forums and groups out there where it's difficult to really get a valued opinion, as it were. They're much more direct. Other sort of things I follow, because most people will not know, I'm an avid DIY person. I mean, I've been doing that for more years than I've probably been working ever since I was small with my father, because he was a builder. And like the man cave I'm standing in at the moment, I built this in 2020. I will put that on my YouTube channel sometime, but I don't want the algorithm to think I'm all about building, because I'm not. But I do DIY because I find that very therapeutic. So I watch lots of DIY channels like the Restoration Guys, Oakwood Room, Garden Rooms, what else? Quite a few. TikTok, I mainly pick up all my sort of knowledge bits and pieces, because they do nice short videos. But like most things, they listen to the algorithm of what you're watching. So it's pick and choose what you're watching. And then for entertainment, I watch the likes of Foxes Afloat. I love those two guys on their narrowboat. It's a nice, interesting journey. Danny and Joe, again, on their narrowboat. I aspire to probably owning a narrowboat one day. Stay with me, who knows? It would be lovely to actually acquire one of those and renovate it. And then for other entertainment, I watch a lot of the Round Table that's on YouTube, which is talking to actors and getting a bit of knowledge behind the scenes. Why do they do what they do? Just double checking it's recording, because I could whittle on a little bit too long. And I like the insight that they transpose, they give to you, what it takes them to get into the role, and how they've sort of built their careers, and why they do this and why they don't do that. And it's interesting to see the person behind the brand. And I kind of think that's the important essence, hence the reason doing a Q&A. I think you gain a little bit more about the person rather than it being a script to an aim on a YouTube video. You get to share a little bit more by asking questions and me coming back with some realistic answers. Nothing that is scripted, unfortunately. No time for that. Right, okay, so question 7. Where was I? What is your speciality? Okay, well, it is predominantly digital marketing. But digital marketing is a very wide field and wide specialism by all accounts. So I'm niching down more in SEO, search engine optimization. And the primary reason for that is, like, if you've got one of these, which most of us have, it's how you find things these days, how you search for stuff. So I think it's absolutely vital that you're improving your organic traffic, your organic reach all the time. So learning SEO, I think, is a vital skill, and something I actually have written a book to, which I put there with my good friend Itimo Blauer, shout out to you, which, you know, is again just imparting knowledge. It is free as an ebook, so more than welcome, jump onto Amazon and you know, help yourself. No one knows it all, you know, but I put enough pointers, as does Itimo, in there with knowledge bombs to give you an idea of how to get on with it from a practical point of view. So yeah, that's kind of my speciality, is more of the SEO, and then the honesty with you, the reader and the watcher. Reader, watcher, I can never tell when it's really YouTube, it's watching, isn't it? Is seeing my affiliate videos every month and holding myself to account. So that way then you can see that I am, you know, practicing what I preach by all accounts. And am I any good? Well, the seasonal one on the gardening would say no, but it actually is improving, even though it's out of season. But my one in the health niche is going good guns. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see in another 6 months' time. Right, next question. Number 8. What are you qualified in? Oh, I'm qualified in multiple things. Oh my gosh. And again, I guess this is the problem, is that I'm of an age now where you could say it's like a midlife crisis. Is that people decide, oh, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? You know, you sort of get to the middle age and you think, well, I've done all that and I've got all this to go. What am I really doing with my life? And I get that. I think midlife crisis is underselling it by all accounts. I think it's really you stop and you try and take stock of what you're doing, what you want to achieve. So I guess, you know, for me, I'm qualified in multiple things: project management, Six Sigma, Prince 2, digital marketing, care management, leadership, business administration, nutrition and diplomas. I've done a plethora of qualifications over the years, and I still do my CPD every month for different bits and pieces, like the SEMrush Academy I've done completely. I've done Excel. I'm slowly working through the Google Garage now as well. Never stop learning. That's the key part. But my specialism, or what my speciality is, I think, is hopefully to enlighten other people to how they can achieve what they want to achieve. I mean, it's hard to distinguish what that is, because I mean that's a big question and it's personal to each and every one of you. But my speciality, I think, is helping other people see sense of it, because it's easy to help other people than help yourself. Introspectively is always much harder, because you're listening to the devil and the angel on your shoulder all the time, and you're pulled in multiple directions. Whereas when you see what's given to you from someone else, it's easier to point them in the right direction. Hence the reason I've done lots of work with agencies and gone in and fixed issues for them, because my remit is much smaller and therefore it's easier then to focus. Question 9. Why should people follow you? Ooh, good question. Okay. Well, hopefully they get value out of this, first and foremost. Hopefully they find me quite approachable and direct. I like to think that the answers I give are as honest as they can be. I don't script and don't prepare this. There might come a time where I do elements of that for certain videos, but I kind of think that shooting from the hip gives a level of authenticity by all accounts, which is where I like the videos to be a little bit more rough and ready. I don't over edit them. I wish I had the time to do that. I'll have to wait until I earn enough money and then I can afford that with the team. But I think that just showing you that it can be done, you know, literally get a camera, get DaVinci, I'm using Audacity on a mic, put the two together, edit it, top and tail it a little bit, bang, it's uploaded. It's more important the content than polishing it too much. And I know there'll be some of them who probably disagree with that, and you're right. I do agree with you, but time is the essence. Half measures get you further down the road than trying to find a perfect solution and not starting. So that was something that was taught to me, but then you take it that half a decision is better than no decision. Henry Ford, Abraham Lincoln, smart people have used that quote many, many times. So from my point of view, what I want to convey to you is taking little bits of this knowledge and doing something with it and share. And I'm happy to collaborate with people. I've done that with multiple people on projects, and they spur you back and forth, which is lovely. Nick Safari and Amelia Gardner are doing a lovely collaboration together at the moment, and I think that makes a massive difference. I was just watching one on a YouTube channel yesterday, Diabetic Game Boy, and he set himself a 31-day challenge doing a video and writing content. Sometimes you have to test yourself to get what you want. All you need is watching a video like this for somebody to say, bloody do it. That's all it is. Just get started. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve, is inspire you, as I have been. What do you find is the hardest thing to achieve? Ooh. Sometimes doing my diary. I run a traditional diary. I'm very much a old school person. Is making sure I'm getting through my long list of bits and pieces. I use Trello and Notion specifically to keep me digitized, and mind mapping and all those loose ends, things I don't want to forget. Another one, I missed it earlier. The other one I've been thoroughly enjoying as a channel that harks to this is Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO. Fantastic channel. Again, you get to understand the person behind the brand and the trials and tribulations they went through. But to answer this question as well, which is, you know, the hardest thing, is compartmentalizing. It's knowing what you should focus on and what you need to park now. It's important. And I know Stephen mentions it. He calls it his Sunday shelf. Putting something on the shelf and leaving it there for 6 to 12 months. And if it's still relevant in 6 to 12 months, you pull it to the front and maybe you start on it, which is a really great analogy. It does make absolute sense, because I've got lots of things that I want to do. Even behind this camera is a big dry whiteboard with loads and loads of things scribbled on there. Some I've done and some I have not touched for months. The problem is, once you open your eyes and you start realizing I can do this, I can do that, you never stop. And from my own point of view, I find that really cathartic, that it inspires me to keep doing something. But here's the life lesson, the hardest thing. The hardest thing I had to learn was habits. Creating habits every single day. So every day I write a blog, one blog every day. Doesn't bother me if it takes 10 minutes or 2 hours. I intend to write a blog. Whether it gets published or not is questionable, but 99% of the time I do publish them, because I think that the small step going forward gives you the big win down the road, because I'm juggling multiple plates and sometimes those plates seem to get larger. So habits are the hardest thing that I learned and putting into practice, but doing it religiously makes the difference. And you can check that out on the YouTube channel. I did it for months steady, every Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday. The last 2 months I went quiet, and that's purely because I focused on one particular part of my affiliate sites that I found really difficult to solve, because there were multiple pieces that needed to be put together. But I'm there now, you know, so I will be getting back to more regular YouTube videos, because it bothers me. It's in the back of my mind, I haven't done this and I haven't done that. It's not I call it the Bob Hope principle. It's looking for the weakest link in your armor and always fixing that, so that overall your brand is as strong as possible. But habits are the only way to create and sustain it. Sorry, I've gone off again. Let me just open it back up. So yeah, that's the hardest thing to achieve. Okay, what goals do you have for 2022 and beyond? Okay, well, consistency in the YouTube channel. I'd like to grow this. I think I'm up to around about 50 videos so far. I know how much of a slog that's been. I would like to get this past the 100 videos by the end of 2022, but not just about quantity, more about the quality, filling in some of the blanks of playlists that I've created but not really filled through. I'm sitting down Christmas to sort of structure a little bit of this to give me an idea, a blueprint as it were, to move forward. The other part I would like to do is build out a little bit more on my personal website and give some templates and resources for free. So whilst I'm talking, I can drive people back there and they can get the asset. So it makes life easier. I know the value of a good template when I've seen someone discuss it or talk about it and thinking, no, just give me the template, make life so much easier. And they do, and you value that person for it, and then you continue following. So that's one of my big to-dos for 2022. How do you plan your day or week? Well, predominantly I use a traditional diary, and I've got my next one for 2022 already, but I also use Trello and Notion because they're always on the mobile or on my laptop, so it's always there where I need it as I need it. Teams I predominantly use as opposed to Zoom. I do like Zoom, but Teams works for the nature of what I teach and obviously the number of meetings I do. And there is a video coming now at the beginning of 2022, how to organise 1,000 meetings in a year, because that's what I've done in 2021. I did the maths the other night, just shy of 1,000 meetings I've done. So yeah, it's being organised. You've got to be organised. Habits is, that's why I write a diary, because that gives me a physical connection to how my day-to-day, my week, my month is going to be. And doesn't matter how many clients or assets I'm dealing with, I never lose track of what I'm supposed to do today. Okay. How do you plan? Oh, sorry, I haven't done that one. Do you have any health conditions? No. I did suffer from stress a couple of years ago. That was in one job role I did. That was 80-90 hour weeks, so spread over 7 days a week, and I did that for 18 months, and that did affect my health because I had high blood pressure, purely trying to do too much with not enough time, not enough resources, and we just had too many deadlines. Working for a company, international company, doing their international events, being a marketing manager for them, their e-commerce solutions, and then doing a Welsh Government project with them. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but it was burning me out, and there comes a point where you can't sustain that intensity for a period of time. So I took a couple of months off and then changed direction completely, which was at my doctor's advice, and then it sorted itself out, to be honest. So it's very important, whilst I'm encouraging you to work harder and do more out of your own time, don't forget the one thing you get for free in life is your health. You need to look after that. Eyesight, teeth, hearing, and the old ticker. But I'm pretty blessed by all accounts. Do you suffer from stress or anxiety? Okay, yeah, I do. And as my doctor said, there's no healthy stress. Stress is stress and it's bad for you, but who doesn't these days? I mean, I get up thinking I've got to do this today, I've got that to do, I've got these number of meetings. That's all an element of stress. Manageable stress maybe, but it's still stress nonetheless. So I think you have to be careful how you balance the books. I think the way that I sort of manage it is, somebody asked me the other day, what's the best time of the day you look forward to? And I said between 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Because by then I've done the bulk of what I intended to do for the day. I may not have completed everything, but I've done the bulk of it. And I know I'm either going to go home or I'm going to change direction, going to go up, see the kids, and then chill out. I've still got work to do, but that's at my own pace. And for me then, it's that is what unlocks the stress for me, is knowing that when I've done the essential, get the hard stuff out the way first, then get on to the easy stuff, because that's what you're going to enjoy. If you try and do the easy stuff first, knowing that you've got hard stuff yet to come, you're going to stress more about it because you're thinking, I'm being lazy and procrastinating. So do the hard stuff, get it out the way. I always find that my energy levels, they peak and then they drop through the day, as I'm sure it does for most people. So do the hard stuff, get it done nice and early, and then the rest of the day sort of coasts along comfortably. So that's my advice. But I work that way and I find it quite beneficial, to be honest. Do you feel you have achieved your goals? No, I don't. I feel like I've let myself down in many ways. I listen to, and I can't go into, because it'd be a long video if I had to give you my back history. I listened to my parents, or parent specifically, too much, and did what they wanted me to do rather than what I wanted to do, and life gets away from you. And then the time you get commitments and responsibility, sometimes it's too little too late. But I'm on the path, and I have been probably for the last 10 years leaning towards more what makes me happy. And I think that's really the eye-opener that I try and convey when I'm teaching about CPD, personal and professional development, is if you don't know what you're doing, lean towards the things you like. Because somewhere down the road, karma will put you on the right path. And then it'll put you on the next right path, and so on and so forth. So for me, as I say, I'm kind of enjoying where I'm at in my 9-to-5 work and then my private life, and the fusion between the two is yet to be discovered. But yeah, that's a matter of time. You know, give it time and it'll sort itself out. But I'm living and I'm learning, and that's kind of the most important aspect of this. Why do you keep learning? Oh, right, okay, good timing there. Why do I keep learning? Because you don't know it all, simple as. Technology keeps changing. Climate change is a big thing. Ethical marketing is a massive thing at the moment. All vehicles being hybrid and electric, and obviously the fossil fuel vehicles coming to an end in 2030, yet we don't really have the infrastructure in place for it. So there's a learning curve. So you're seeing the market change all the time, companies changing to it, competitors as it were, so your knowledge needs to keep up with it, because if you're not, you'll fall behind. I think there's a saying, isn't it, if you stand still, you're going backwards, which is absolutely true, even in digital marketing. I mean, there's new techniques coming out all the time, and it's living and learning those to see the benefit of them. The danger there, though, is not to get caught up in the shiny object syndrome, that this new fad or this new tool is having a clear focus on what you want to achieve and looking at all these things to see if they add value or they distract. So that's kind of the approach I take. I am getting better at it, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Have I achieved my goals? No, I have big goals still to achieve, and that's kind of why I keep learning, because there are more and more new techniques and new tools and bits and pieces coming out that make life easier to achieve it and get you on that journey. Okay, last question. Will you be doing any live streams? Okay, well, funny enough, Black Friday I did buy the StreamYard, so I am going to use that at some point, because I do intend, and I've discussed this with a friend of mine, whether I do some like digital marketing surgeries, some sort of Q&A where people can just jump on, ask a string of questions, and I'll give you some insight. I don't know it all. I never call myself an expert or a guru, because that implies that you know it all. No one knows it all. Okay? Technology, marketplaces, everything is advancing and changing at such a pace. We're all constantly living and learning. So hopefully I'm ahead of the curve than a lot of people, and that's the benefit then for me being the teacher and passing that knowledge to my learners and business owners, because I do PLA courses as well. So yeah, I kind of thought it would be nice to engage with people who ask me probing questions, things that are relevant to them at that time, and whether I can give some sort of insight. So if you do like the sound of that, stick something in the comment below, let me know what your thoughts and feelings are. It would simply be an evening class, an open session on Teams, 2 hours, and basically ask any sort of question where I can give you some sort of guidance, be that a tool that might benefit you, how I do SEO, what's the real insight of digital marketing these days, or if you've got a brand, how could you get more traffic to it or make more sales? There's so many ways that you can do things these days, and like I've been enlightened by the people I've spoke to and been, graciously given the opportunity to be involved with, I'm happy to share the knowledge, because even if we were doing the same thing, we'd do it different. So I'm a firm believer in that, and I think, as much as like my partner goes on about this all the time, is that I give too much knowledge away for free, but I kind of think that's human nature. We love giving knowledge. It's in our DNA, as it were. But I also think that if you're earning enough money in one way, you don't need to be earning it from everything. You've got to give something back. So that's my idea for 2022, as part of another goal, is a digital marketing surgery, and I quite like the sound of that. Haven't branded it yet, or how I'm going to figure it all out, but that's the fun. That is the fun. Something to create and something to see whether it's got legs and generally goes somewhere. So anyway, those are just a selection of some of the questions I quickly pulled off just to get a video together for thanking you for watching and subscribing and getting me to the 1,000 subscriber milestone. Likewise, if you like the video, please click it, like it, hopefully, because you know what, the algorithms are listening. They're every bloody where these days. But likewise, it'd be nice to keep growing the channel, putting more in there, because that's the smart play. You see the win, you invest more. You see it go bigger, you can invest more. So hopefully that's the takeaway today, is create those habits, keep doing it bit by bit, and achieve what you want to achieve. So that's me, Andy Woolley. Thank you very much. Thank you to the 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully, if you're not a subscriber and you're watching this now, you know what to do. And I'll see you in the next video.